Tears of the Kingdom has been out for just over 2 weeks and has already sold over 10 million copies. That's a lot of people, and they're all playing the game in different ways. But which type of player are you? Well, let's find out.
But who? I don't know.
This is their first Zelda game. I know Breath of the Wild is on the same system, but these players didn't play it. They have absolutely no idea what's going on, who anybody is, or what they're supposed to be doing. You better believe that the controls page is their best friend, and they will consult it in the middle of a fight because they've forgotten what button they need to press to draw their sword. They will get to the monsters, eventually, just let them figure out how to change weapons first. I'm also willing to bet that despite Link's name being brought up every time he interacts with literally anybody in this game, they've probably still called him Zelda at least once. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Superman! What do you mean it's not Superman? It's Link. What's he doing in the sky? Oh, okay, I see. So I've just been helpfully informed that it's actually not Superman, but it is the Overseer players. Their favourite place is to be up in the clouds, gliding around to scope out shrines, or diving through the air like a missile. Every time they go up into the sky and stand on the edge of an island, they convince themselves that they are the Hyrulean equivalent of Tom Daly. It's the Olympic final, and you better believe they're going for diving gold. And if they are forced to be at surface level, since quite a lot of the game requires you to be there, then you'll still find them climbing to the tops of rocks and mountains whenever they can, because that's just where they feel the most at home.
The routes are treacherous, so use your maps.
I lost my map.
You haven't been issued a map yet.
As I'm sure you're aware, in Tears of the Kingdom you unlock parts of your map as you progress in the game. For these players, this does not matter. Having access to a map is a total non-factor, because map or no map, they are getting lost. They're the type of person you don't want to trust with the directions on a road trip, because they barely know their lefts from rights. If they're trying to get to Hyrule Castle, and the castle is literally right in front of them, they will still somehow end up somewhere else, despite the fact all they had to do was walk in a straight line. Nobody knows how they do it, not even them. But hey, I guess not being able to manage directing yourself to the giant castle staring you right in the face is a unique skill of its own, just not a very useful one.
2 hours later.
This player always sets out with a plan of action. The plan is always to be productive, find Zelda, and save Hyrule as quickly as possible. However, the problem is that they are so easily distracted that this never happens. It doesn't matter how hard they try, it is not happening. And I won't lie, this one is me to a T. I ain't even gonna explain it, let's just roll the footage. Tears of the Kingdom has some scarier moments. There's some pretty big monsters, there are some jump scares, there's a few kind of scary things in there, I'll give it that. I'll be the first to admit, I screamed when I approached a tree, fought off a monster, and to my surprise, the tree fought back. I thought the trees were my friends. I didn't realise they'd become another thing in this game trying to end my life. Be at one with nature, they said. Nobody told me these trees were gonna throw hands.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Some people definitely get a little more afraid than most. They've loaded up Tears of the Kingdom and immediately convinced themselves that rather than a Nintendo game with a rating of age 12 and up, that they've entered the Hyrulean version of Final Destination. Ooh, okay, I can do this. Alright, here we go. This isn't too bad, this isn't too... Oh no, absolutely not. In their minds, everything is out to get them. Okay, and next I'll go... Oh, would you look at the time? I better be heading back. Why'd you do that? Do what? You were making progress, then you just up and left. Duh, it's 9 o'clock. Don't you remember the great words of Bart Simpson, aka Alberto?
Night is scary.
I don't want to be out there when their skeleton thingies start showing up. I'd rather be right here at the stable where it's safe.
And would you stop taking pictures of yourself? Your sister's going to jail.
The camera function in this game was designed to help us gather more information about important landmarks and all the weird and wacky creatures that we may encounter in the game, right? Well, that's not what these players are using it for. These players take pictures of everything. Cute dog? They're taking a picture of it. Rainbow in the sky? They're taking a picture of it. The chances are these players are the same ones snapping a picture every time they see a pretty sunset in real life. And just like real life, their album is so full that when it comes to finding a picture they actually need, it takes them hours of scrolling. And then there's the selfie takers. It doesn't matter what's going on, they could be getting attacked from every angle. If they see a good photo opportunity, they are taking it. A fight? No baby, I'm too busy getting a picture for Hyrulean Instagram. Now, Battle Talus, babe, can you go over there because the lighting's better and I want to get my good side in.
No.
Tears of the Kingdom, now more than in any other Zelda game, teaches us the importance of being careful, looking where we're going, and being prepared to be attacked by who knows what at any given moment. These players, they are aware of this fact and they try to be prepared, but they're just a little bit clumsy. They're like Junior Cortez from Spy Kids. They're trying super hard, but they got a serious case of the Butterfingers. You know, first they can't find the weapon they want to use in their inventory, and when they do, they've accidentally dropped it on the floor instead of equipping it. These are the types of players you could probably put one of those cheesy sitcom laugh tracks behind everything they do, and it really wouldn't seem out of place.
Why are we fighting now? Because you're idiots. Did they say something about my mother?
From three-headed dragons to trees, Tears of the Kingdom really is a game where it feels like everything wants you dead. You step foot in that forest and trust me when I say something is going to take a swing at you. But that is exactly what these players love. They will fight anything, and I mean anything. You think it stops at monsters? You think it stops at the things you're supposed to fight? Of course not. These players have a never-ending supply of raw meat and drumsticks because they swear that the deer looked at them wrong and that the birds said something about their mother. Basically, for these players, if it moves, it can die, and they're gonna choose violence every time.
They think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows.
The Depths are a new and exciting addition to Tears of the Kingdom, and let me tell you, these players love it down there. They practically live down there, fulfilling vampiric fantasies of living in the shadows and never seeing sunlight. Although, if we're talking about sunlight, I'm willing to bet that at least 50% of you haven't seen it since this game came out anyway. These players love the thrill of not knowing what lurks in the dark, relish in the additional challenges created by being unable to refill on lives, and welcome the fact that they could be attacked at any given moment. I mean, I know the game does that anyway, but like, you know, even more than usual.
I can see every equation!
These players approach a shrine and they're in and out in a few minutes. They just get it. It doesn't matter what abilities the shrine requires, they always know exactly which ones to use and when. They can take one look at something and they've worked out what goes where and the order everything needs to be done to get through the shrine and onto the next as quickly as possible. Let me tell you, I wish I was this player. But sadly, I'm not. I would probably be a lot further through the game if I was.
I don't need sleep, I need answers.
Now, if you're not the puzzle master, the chances are you're probably this player. I'm talking about those of us whose shrine puzzles take a little bit longer to click into place. Now, of course, they will get it eventually, but it may take a little, or should I say a lot, of trial and error. With every shrine, the likelihood is this player has probably tried every trick in the book and ended up constructing the most complex strategy of how they think the shrine should work, only for it to fail because the obvious answer has been staring them in the face the entire time. Trust me on this one, I speak from experience.
Oh, I like food all right. I like pizza. I like bagels.
They often say that the key to someone's heart is through their stomach, and for these players, it really is. Not because they're falling in love or anything, although I've seen some of the tweets some of you are writing about a few of these characters, so maybe some of you are, but because they have so many ingredients and so many meals in their inventory that they will never lose all their lives. The game over screen? What's that? They don't know her, they ain't never seen her. These players can't resist the lure of that little sparkle in the grass, and have the location of every cooking pot marked on their map. It's physically impossible for them to pass a tree without picking the apples off of it, or searching its base for shrooms or plants. Even if it means they have to fight for their lives because that tree wasn't just a tree, or that plant happened to be near an enemy base, it doesn't matter. Nothing can come between them and their stomach, and they are getting their food one way or another.
I volunteer as tribute!
Katniss Everdeen, Robin Hood, Alison Argent, the Green Arrow. In their mind, this is who these players think they are. These players don't like to bother with swords or axes or clubs. For them, the only thing they need in their inventory is a trusty bow and a whole bunch of arrows. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is filled with things trying to kill you, and if you want to win, then you have to do a good amount of killing. So I guess players drawing their bow and arrow every 5 seconds like their Katniss in the Hunger Games is somewhat valid. Yeah, sometimes a sword would be easier in a close range fight, but for these players, there's nothing quite like that satisfying, damage-inflicting headshot with an arrow. Link's new abilities are pretty cool, right? We've got stuff like Recall and Ascend that are pretty useful for moving around quickly or fixing mistakes. You know, they allow us to be more creative than ever and customize our gameplay experience in ways we couldn't even dream of. With these new abilities, it feels like the possibilities are endless, and these players are going to explore as many of them as they possibly can. Speaking of Link's new abilities, yes, they were designed to give us more options and get creative, but it's led to some of us just straight up bullying. Oh, you want help? You want to get back to your friend? What if I just smacked you against a tree? Or roasted you on an open flame? What then, you little
I'm better. I am better.
At the time of recording this video, Tears of the Kingdom has been out for around about a week, and there are players who have already beaten the game. Some maybe even more than once, who knows? And I know some of you are probably sitting there going, a week? But that's impossible, this game is massive, how'd they do that? And the answer is that they're probably a speedrunner or a Zelda veteran. They just have a knack for how the game works and use their previous experience from other games to work out where they need to go and how to win every fight. These players are the ones everybody wants to be, but very few of us actually are.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
I love animals, and these players do too, which is why it's a good thing Tears of the Kingdom is filled with them. These are the type of players who love befriending dogs at stable. They'll feed them food, they'll take their pictures, and they'd love nothing more than to be able to pet them and bring them along for the journey. Although, I guess it wouldn't be particularly safe for a dog out there, so perhaps them staying at the stables is for the best. This player probably also spends most of their time travelling on horseback and have numerous horses registered at the stable. I know that I'm definitely a few of the players on this list. I do procrastinate, but I also love being up in the sky. But what about you? Be sure to let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, then I suggest checking out the one on screen now. But most importantly, stay positive, stay smiling, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!